My name is Jessie Chapman. I am the director for Little Women, the musical at Plymouth State University, and I have the honor of interviewing some of our cast members today. So why don't we go down the line and introduce yourselves and the character you are playing.
Hi, my name is Emma Malloy, and I'm playing Marmee.
I'm Maddie, and I'm playing Meg.
I'm Grace Gilbert, and I'm playing Jo March.
I'm Lindsay Brunel, and I'm playing Beth.
I'm Emily King, and I play Amy March.
Ooh. And as a warm-up question, could you each share what is one of your favorite moments you share on stage with another character?
Days of Plenty is probably one of my favorite intimate moments in the whole show, because Emma and I don't get to interact like one-on-one too much, but every time we do, it's super significant to whatever's going on. And that, when she's like holding me and comforting me, and she sounds so beautiful singing what she's singing, it's comforting and warm to both me and Jo in that moment, which, chef's kiss.
Absolutely. I got one. I think just any moment that I get to spend with Harrison on stage, who plays Mr. Brooke, those are just some of my favorite moments. I really get to enjoy partnering with him, dancing with him, having those romantic and sometimes comedic moments together.
What a Meg answer, right?
Yeah, I'd have to really agree with Grace. Our whole attic sequence, Days of Plenty into Fire Within Me, is so impactful and difficult to get through, and it's so powerful, and it's my favorite by far.
When did you first encounter Little Women, and in what form?
So my mom and I read the book together. I was probably 7 or 8. I don't remember a lot of it, and it was never like a huge part of my life, but I do remember like being at Barnes & Noble and seeing the book, and there was like a necklace that came with it, and I just wanted the necklace. So we bought the book and then read it together, and I got the necklace, so.
That's awesome. I think I was in like 4th or 5th grade, and I remember like our teacher said that we could choose any kind of book that we wanted to read, and I chose it, and she had like a discussion with my mom and I that was kind of like complicated reading material for somebody that young, but I loved it, and it's like a memory that I have with my mom now, that I got to read about these really strong women when I was so little.
I was 7 years old when the 1994 movie came out, and it was like one of my favorite movies and go-tos, and like Claire Danes, Winona Ryder. Yeah, it was Kirsten Dunst. It was very much a part of my childhood in that sense. And then I read the book shortly after seeing the film. This one we can skip around. What attribute of your character do you most identify with?
I like to think that I have a lot in common with Beth. We definitely, I like to think we share our kindness. She's maybe a little more kind than I am, just a little bit. I don't think Beth has a mean bone in her body. I have a small one. But no, Beth is just a genuinely nice person who is always looking to help people, and I usually am the same. Also, we're both socially anxious people, so it works out.
I can jump in. I think that Meg has these hopeless romantic tendencies, and I think that that isn't just in the sense of her romantic partners. I think that it's with her family and her sisters, and she just loves them to death and would do anything for them, and I'd like to think that I would do the same for my family and my friends. So.
Mine's kind of sappy. I think that Marmee has so much love and pride in her heart for her girls, and that is exactly what I feel anytime I watch any of you guys on stage or just in life. I am so happy to be working with all of you. So.
All right, we made it like 5 minutes in before needing tissues. I think that's pretty good.
Sorry.
You get a choice for the next one. So what has been your most rewarding or most challenging part of working on this production?
I had said this, now it's my turn to be sappy. I had said this during one of our rehearsal reinforcement sessions, and because we were talking about just memories we had with our siblings and things like that we were incorporating into the show. And I was talking about how it's really nice to have siblings and a family away from my family. And I stand by that. I think that's been one of the most rewarding things. I've been going to school with you guys now for 3-ish years. But now I get to call you my sisters, so.
This is sappy for me, but this is my first in-person live college performance. I've done shows here, but nothing with actual people. So to be in a cast and a family like this is the wildest thing, because we put this show together so quickly, and it looks so good. So feeling that amount of stress just go off, not even appear anywhere in the rehearsal process, was so nice. And to be really comforted, especially with people who I know, who I've been going to school with for a couple years, is such a comfortable and rewarding space to be in.
How about you, Anna?
I think for me, one of the most challenging parts, I definitely relate to Grace with struggling with vulnerability a lot. And unfortunately, both of Marmie's songs are kind of the moments that she's breaking down in the show, and pretty much alone on stage having this very intense moment. So kind of discovering how to handle that and how to present something truthful to the audience without pushing myself over the edge and going too far was, I guess, both challenging and rewarding too.
All right, this is a fun one. So what has been your favorite memory so far in our rehearsal process?
Yeah, I was trying to pick between a couple, but I feel like my troll legacy has been left here at Plymouth State.
If you come for no other reason, you have to come for Emily's trolls.
If you know the show, if you read the novel, if you've seen it when you were younger, it doesn't matter. I play a troll, and you need to see it. So.
I think one of my favorite memories from rehearsals was probably learning to polka with Emma. It was a learning curve. First of all, just not polka-ing over the pit, because the pit is going to be on stage with us, but for right now we just have a little piece of tape, so we'd start going and be like, oh, we're dancing on the pit right now, hang on. And just then trying to sing while doing the polka, trying to figure out who was going to be the man in the polka, whose arm was going where. It was a learning curve, but there's been so many laughs, and there's been so many times where Emma and I will just see each other and we just go into the polka, and it's incredible.
I want to share one for this one, and they can just edit it out if they don't like it. Which was one rehearsal where Kyle very sincerely said this beautiful line, which is, I need to tell you something. And then promptly forgot his next line. So then very sincerely, I need to tell you something. What? Line. It was very funny. You had to be there, I guess, but I laughed very loud. Because it was just, the timing was fantastic. All right, more importantly, why should people come and see this show?
I think I already said my reason. I play a troll. But on a more sincere note, it sort of feels like one of the classic type storylines that everybody should know. especially because it's based in New England. And if you live in New England, you would know, hey, Concord, Mass, I know where that is, or I know of that. So it's sort of like, and you can still go and tour the house too. So then seeing the story of what happened in that house that's still a historic landmark here in New England is really cool. And that should be something everybody who lives in this area should know.
Yeah. No, this show is like a bubble bath, honestly. Like you sit down and you're nice and warm and you feel good, you're smiling, you're laughing, you're crying maybe, I don't know. I don't judge what you do in a bathtub. And you just, you stand up and you leave and you feel good. You really do. Everything about this show is beautiful, and it's beautifully cast, it's beautifully written, and the relationships are beautiful.
Yeah, I think that if you have or have ever had siblings or parents or or any type of relationship that is really meaningful to you, then you should come see this show because it's gonna rip your heart out, but you're gonna be happy about it.
All right. And what is something that you will each take away from this experience?
I guess I can go first with that one. It's okay to be emotional, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. We're all humans, and we all feel things that sometimes we don't understand or we don't like, but it's important to acknowledge it, and it's important to figure out how you personally can get over that hump and what is necessary to get over that hump.
I totally agree with Emily with how small and tight the cast is, but I think even beyond that, just the sisterhood that we have built with all of us is so wonderful, and to know that these relationships are going to last and that we're always going to have these memories to look back on.
I think I said this at some point, like throughout the rehearsal process, but just what I would take away from this whole thing is just being able to ask the right questions. And I feel like Jessie has been able to do that for all of us for this entire process. And we've been able to ask the right questions of each other too. And so moving forward with my career and with my time here at Glenwood, like being able to ask those questions of myself to determine character or determine my future in general. I'll always take that away from Little Women and from you guys. So.
Thank you. And come see the show.